I'm sure you have been in one of those meetings where a VP or a CTO comes and tells that let's build an AI solution for this, and everybody nods in agreement. I want you to be the guy who asks queries on this demand. Welcome to Unfold Data Science. My name is Aman and I am a data scientist. Let's try to understand one very big problem of industry today: build versus buy. What is the meaning? The meaning is every team is trying to build AI and scrapping it later. Why I am telling this? If you read S&P Global last year's data, it is very clearly written that 42% of AI initiatives were scrapped. Scrapped meaning not pivoted, not redesigned, just thrown in the dustbin. This number is scary. 42% of all AI initiatives. Why it happens? Because when we go on to build something new, we don't know where we will go. In this video, I solve this exact problem and I give you a framework through which you can go and decide whether to build, buy, do a hybrid, ask right things to the stakeholders, and don't go in a direction where efforts will be wasted basically. Which direction you should put efforts in and why. Let's try to understand with some stats, some numbers, and I'll explain you that framework through which you have to pass every AI initiative. Okay guys, so let's talk about the problem which no one talks about. What is the problem? The problem is 42% of companies scrapped AI initiatives in 2025 and 46% of POCs killed before production and 80% of AI projects fail before going into production or before impacting business. This is a huge number. I have covered it in a separate video on why AI projects fail. You can search Unfold Data Science Enterprise AI project and watch that video as well. Now these numbers are not very small. These numbers are very big. And from MIT, a report says that building AI from specialized vendor succeeds 66% of time, whereas building it yourself succeeds 33% of time. That means roughly 2 times you have the probability to succeed if you are buying it from a vendor, your AI solution. But is it that simple? Is it always we should buy from the vendor? Not at all. We will dig deeper into this buy versus build problem and we will understand more things. Now, how enterprise are implementing AI today? I want you to understand this and take a screenshot of this. If you see this pie chart, right, 31% are using off-the-shelf vendor products. Okay, 25% are customizing the third-party things according to their need. Another 16% is doing a mix and match vendor tools, basically best of breed integration. So if I like one product from one kind of work, I will take that. For other kind of work, I can use another vendor product like that. But this is also vendor product. 28% of the organizations or AI use cases are getting full custom build. And this is where lot of effort, lot of money and lot of commitment goes. If you combine these three numbers 31, 25 and 16, you will see that around 72% are in some kind of buy range. Understand the meaning here guys. If 100 AI use cases are getting built in enterprise, 72 of those use cases are buying something from somewhere. It's not from the scratch. Okay, only 28% are from full custom build. Now, is there something hidden in this? Yes. And we will understand that by understanding different levels of AI implementation strategy. What are the different levels of AI implementation strategy? It's not always buy versus build. It's levels. And I will explain you now. There are 5 levels in which you can think about AI implementation in your organization. What is the first level? The first level is pure API call. That means if you can call models of OpenAI or Anthropic or any Bedrock model or anything, you can just wrap it in a prompt, basically your instructions, give some context and call the model through API. This is easiest thing to do. This is your level 1. When to do this? You can do this when your task is generic, data is not sensitive and you don't need any much customization. This is your level 1. The time to implement in days. Okay, what's level 2? Level 2 is buying vertical SaaS tools. What is the meaning? The meaning is, if I want to implement an intelligent document processing solution, I will go to market and search, are there some tools which is doing exactly this? So I am saying, purchase a product that solves your specific problem, configure, plug in and go. Okay, this is another not very complicated thing to do, and it is advised if AI is not your differentiator. AI is not your differentiator, meaning you cannot create something which is smarter than what has been already created. Basically, somebody has solved the problem for you. It will be easier and wiser if you take that and use it. Okay, that is your level 2. What is level 3 now? Level 3 is where most of the use cases sit now. Platform plus customize. For example, you take Bedrock, you take Azure AI or Vertex AI, and this is your basic infrastructure. And backend, you build your own data, prompts and RAG. Infra is managed, and this 20% of work of defining prompt, building that pipeline, that is what you do. This is platform plus customize. Okay, so the time for this will be 1 to 3 months. You will need some customization. You will do some customization, but you don't want to manage infra. Most RAG use cases sit in this category. Level 1, simplest. Level 2, you can explore vertical SaaS, and level 3, you can build platform plus customize. Now, if you see, the complexity is increasing from left to right, and level 4 and level 5 are in red due to a reason. Level 4 is about open source build, and this is what many people, many companies do. What is this? I will go to market and I will start using open source components which are good for me. So I will choose, for example, LangChain, pgvector, llama, and I will own every component. Okay, so what I will do, I will own every component. I will not depend on AWS or Azure or anything for infra also. I will own everything. When this is done, when you need maximum control, when you have a dedicated team who can do this for you, and when cost saving at scale, justify it. Very important, because it will take time. 3 to 6 months it will take. You can do this, of course, but in this situation only. And level 5, most difficult to do but most rewarding also in given situation. For example, you do full custom training, you build your own model from scratch. Okay, and this is typically JP Morgan territory, we call it, because JP Morgan has 18 billion annual budget on this, and lot of specialist programmer data scientists who can do the work. So they choose to do everything full custom training. We will see more reasons of why JP Morgan has done that in detail, but just understand, this is a long commitment, lot of money goes in, lot of capability you need, and chances of failure are also high. So more effort, more reward kind of scenario. If you see, on the left hand side, you have less effort and control. On the right hand side, you have more effort and control. Okay, so level 1 to level 5. If you want to take a screenshot, feel free to take a screenshot. This will help you a lot in assessing where your AI use case fits. Now what we will do is, we will go ahead and see what is the practitioner's reality check. AI practitioner's reality check. Most teams default to level 4 or level 5 when they should be at level 2 or level 3. You should not build things from scratch, but just for ego satisfaction or just for showing to someone, people start building things from scratch. The question here is not can we build it. Of course you can, if you have a team, if you are given time and so on. But the question is, should you build it? And this answer should come from someone like you and me, someone in technology who knows what works, what doesn't, and what is the best path forward. Now I will give you a scenario. Suppose you have 100 question answer pair, basically query answer, your training data, and you take this data and you prepare a good context basically, and you test ChatGPT on how it is performing. If it is performing in 80% of the cases good, then you no need to build anything. Okay, and that is what I am covering here. The honest test. Take your 20 hardest real world queries. I am saying 100, you can start with 20. paste them into Cloud GPT-4 with context manually stuffed into the prompt, and score the output. If 80% plus are good enough, you don't need to build anything, as I said. But as I said, sometimes the ego and sometimes the politics come in between, and people go and build tools from scratch, which is not advised. If you want to be somebody who advises right thing, then you should know when not to build. Okay. Why build actually fails? As I told you, I have covered in detail in other video why AI products fail or AI projects fail in enterprises. Go to Unfold Data Science. It will be 2-3 videos back only. I'll give the link also in description, where I have explained why 80% of AI projects stall at POC stage. You should know this so that you can have a better matured conversation with stakeholders, right? Now I'm going to give you a 6-question decision tree or a framework through which you should pass all your AI use cases to know whether to buy, whether to build, whether to do a mix and match, whether to do a hybrid, and if hybrid, then what level of hybrid. Let's see the first one. First one is, can I get 90% of the way there with an API call? The one I was explaining now. Okay. This is the most important thing and most engineers skip it. Before you architect anything, if the answer of this is yes, then simply build a fast API, simply build your authentication and logging layer and ship the solution. That's it. Okay, you no need to break your head with anything. Now move to question 2 if the answer is no here. If the answer is basically you are not able to solve using normal API. I am saying take 20 hardest real queries, paste into cloud, score output. If 80% good enough, don't build. Just improve your prompt, improve your context. That's it. If this is not your answer, then go to Q2. What is Q2? Has someone already built a product for this? And this is vertical SaaS that I was talking about. Remember, the MIT Nanda report says build success 33% times, but buy success is 67% of times, and economically also that is more viable. Okay. What are some of the products you can see? Suppose you want to build a customer support bot. You can see Intercom Fin, Zendesk AI, and customer. Similarly, for different categories, I am listing some tools here. You can take the screenshot and you can discuss with the stakeholders if you want. This is your Q2, right? Now let's go to Q3. What is Q3? Is your data the competitive moat? Understand this carefully, guys. You have to be brutally honest on if your data looks roughly like any other company in your industry, or you hold some specialized data moat. If your data is sensitive but not unique, you are still at level 3. But if your data is proprietary and massive like JP Morgan, then only you should move to level 4 and level 5. If the data you are having does not have any uniqueness, no moat, no need to build things from scratch again. Okay, you can stay at level 3. But if that's not true, you should consider level 4 and level 5 because your data is the moat here. And Q4 or question 4 is what is your time constraint? As I said, API calls can be built in weeks, vendor tools in 1 month maybe, then platform integration maybe 1 to 3 months, this one maybe 3 to 6 months, and everything custom can take up to 1 to 2 years also. Now, if it takes 6 months, will the business stakeholder still care? That is another thing you need to ask yourself. Speed to production is one important thing to consider here. Okay, this covers your 4 things. What is the 5th thing? The 5th thing is what does your team look like? Do you have the capability? You need ML engineers if you are going to level 4 and level 5, right? You need backend engineers, you need LLM ops, you need security compliance expertise, you need ongoing ML ops capacity, not build and forget, right? So if your team is like 2-3 people who are handling data science, ML pipeline, all the regulatory requirements, then it will be very difficult for you. Okay. And 6th and very important thing, where is the AI in the risk metric? So are you allowed to take the risk or you are not allowed to take the risk? For example, internal tool low stakes, room to experiment, level 3 to 4 is fine. Customer facing high stake, need guardrails, audit trails, human in the loop. Vendor or managed platform L2 or L3 is safer. So I'm coming from the risk tiering point of view. Okay. Regulated industry, external audit, compliance isn't optional. By a compliant vendor, they share the burden. So where does your use case fit in the risk metric? Based on that also you can take a call on where you should go. Remember these 6 queries that will help you determine your build versus buy and what proportion to build and what proportion to buy. Okay. Now I am going to talk about a hybrid playbook, what smart team do. And this is what I have seen many team doing, 80-20 rule, and this works really well. If you can see here, McKinsey report says that AI strategies combining vendor tools plus internal capabilities scale 1.5x faster than fully custom. So 80-20 rule says that 80% work, the foundation work, right, that should be done by some vendor. For example, you can use Bedrock or Azure or Vertex. They manage their services, they manage GPU cluster. You can use OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, etc. for model is anyway a commodity now. Then layer 2 intelligence is your 20%. That is your custom RAG pipeline, your prompt, your context, your templates, your workflows. This is your work, 20%. And then orchestration you can do anyway through LangGraph or Langsmith or Ragas or cost tracking, guardrails, monitoring. So basically if you see this 80-20 light, 80% of the burden should be carried out by vendors. And if you do this right, then you can scale faster. Simple. Now let's see the case study of JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan has a huge capacity or capability in terms of budgeting and people also. As you can see, 18 billion annual tech budget, 2000 plus AI ML, more than that I have written just 2000. Lot of proprietary data and lot of AI use cases in production. So their architecture is very suitable to them. For example, if you see this LLM suite, right, this is nothing but OpenAI Anthropic model in JPM security parameter. That's it. If you talk of Omni AI platform, proprietary ML factory, bring compute to data, data never leaves their premises. Signal products, proprietary data refined into tradable insights. So they can afford these because their data is their moat, their data is their proprietary data, and they have money to spend, they have people to work on. Okay. What you can learn from this is you should try internal first deployment. That means roll out to employees first, battle test before going customer facing. Any team can do this, anything you want to build. Okay. Then speed beats perfection. So JP Morgan shipped their LM suite to 200k in 8 months because shadow AI was the alternative. So if there is an urgency, right, then things will move faster, and that is what JPMC did. If you want to learn about shadow AI, just search Unfold Data Science Shadow AI, a very important and critical topic in the world of AI now. You must know this. Okay. And don't copy their architecture because you don't have this much of money and this much of people, this many of people. Okay. So just to know a use case at level 5, I brought this. What your week should look like. 80% of your effort should go in evaluating vendors and performance, configuring managing services, building evaluation framework, designing templates, and writing technical architecture requirement. Okay. 20% only should go in custom code, customer RAGs, workflow automation, etc. And critical prerequisite before any of these. If you don't have right data to evaluate the performance, then you should do nothing. So see here, if you don't have 100 golden test cases, 100 real world questions with expected answers, you are not ready to build or buy. Start there. So build or buy comes only when you have some data, right? Some quality data. If you don't have that, then what, right? So first thing is go get the golden data. The mindset shift here is the best AI engineers aren't the ones who build the most. They are the ones who know when not to build. Okay. Build versus buy, when not to build, how much not to build. That is important. Remember, buy succeeds 67% times, build succeeds 33% from scratch. Hybrid approach scale 1.5x faster. 80% you should give your effort in buy or platform, 20% in custom build, and 100 golden test cases before you decide anything. Whatever numbers I told you comes from McKinsey 2025 report, MIT Nenda, S&P Global, Rand Corp, or Menlo Ventures, all trusted reports. Okay. I will love to see your comments on this, guys, and I'll keep creating enterprise AI content if you give me comments and likes. See you all in the next video.